doesn't mean in the Buddhahood, right? As what we call Buddha nature. So basically, all of you have gone to Egypt, right? What's the number?
24.
Okay, let's move on again. Who attended my lecture last Friday? For you, right? We talk about the non-judgmental attitude that's using invoking your own Buddha nature instead of using your analytical thinking. Alright, so move on. This is one. Who's here, Emily? Oh, what's the difference between omniscient Buddha and Supreme God?
I wrote about how the big difference that I noticed, and for me, was that in Buddhism, any person who practices through discipline, they can reach the same enlightenment as Buddha. While in Christianity and with like the Supreme God, no one will ever be able to become like God. He isn't necessarily human, but some people, and it's said like in literature and everything that it's not something people can attain, like they can never be God. And I wrote just about that, how it's different, that in Buddhism, if you practice and you have discipline and you follow the rules and everything, you can become not Buddha, but like Buddha.
So that's pretty important. Let's talk briefly about what they call Supreme Buddha. Actually, this is the Mahayana, even throughout the belief too, that they have the knowledge. Any Buddha could have this kind of power, knowledge of inclination and enlightenment, tendency of obedience. That means they know everything, they know every essential things in the past, present, and future too. Knowledge of mental faculties, and they say maturity or knowledge of communism and real potential, knowledge of penetrative, creative without distortion, knowledge of twin medical. Last time at the beginning, right? At the beginning of the class, we studied some story about the Buddha miracles, and that's what knowledge of attentive compassion by which he looked at the world. Now, that's a big difference. Now, remember in Buddhist view, anyone can achieve that level, the Buddha level, the arhatship level. Of course, it's different from other tradition, right? You cannot climb up to that level, to that top, right? But in Buddhism, that's what we call equality there. And last time we talked about the story of the Milarepa. According to the story, he could fly. And in the past, in many Buddhist stories, there's many, as much as they attain what they call arhatship, they could fly, they could perform any kind of miracles that they have. So it depends on how pure your mind is. If you have the pure mind, you have some kind of miracle involved. So that's everyone has that ability. I don't know whether you recognize that how within yourself yet. Now, you recognize us? Sometimes, if you do things without using your analytical thinking, things will come spontaneously. I don't know whether you have that experience or not. The more you calculate, the more you analyze, the more abstract you will have. I think in general, right, you have that kind of feeling there. So that is when you don't use attitude thinking, that's a pure mind, the Buddha mind. So that's what this is. Or so this old path has 10 power, all the power too. And the Buddha. That's why later on we learn, right? The Pure Land, the purpose of Amitabha Buddha during the Pure Land is for people to go there and become a fully enlightenment or just become Buddha. Question? Oh no. Yeah. So every one of them has all kind of this what we call 10 power, free from two obscuration. They can recognize how people mind and read their mind. I don't know. So let me ask you, what do you think about reading out people's mind? Have you heard, have you met any person that could read people's mind?
Read?
How about fortune teller, huh? Read, yeah, without people's mind. Not really, right? But what happens? In reality too, let's say at a certain moment, if your mind is so calm, you could recognize the pattern of your friends, whoever you encounter, whoever you interact with, right? If your mind peaceful, if your mind calm, right? And so that's why if you look from yourself, look at your mind, you have the potential, you have a skill. And everyone else that has that skill. This is no exception. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, alright, Han, you want to say something about the Mahayana idea of generosity? What's generosity about in Buddhist view?
Well, they know that generosity is one of the most important in Buddhism. And according to Buddha, they believe, well, to them they believe that it's one of the ways to reach enlightenment. But you cannot just depend on that fully because there's other things you have to really practice. I know there's 3 types of gifts that consider generosity. One is for the food, like the materials, giving the material, and this giving forgiveness.
Forgiveness. You develop that skill, you don't give that. That's I will make a correction with your paper then.
Yeah, and the giving of the truth.
Okay. In any tradition, right? The practice of generosity is encouraged, right? In religion for the Christian, Muslim in general. This is common, this is universal. But Buddhism is go beyond that. And of course, the other tradition, they don't speak much, but they practice as too. The first one, we know, right? We give material, right? The first one, food, drink, water, whichever. Back whichever you give to all people in the form. And the second one is what's called fearlessness. What does it mean? This is include everything. Let's say if someone is so anxious, let's say if your friend is so anxious about their test, you say, oh, calm down, don't worry. Can calm your mind. Try to take the test as much as you can. That is the way you can keep them the practice of fearlessness too. If they're so anxious, if they're so stressed out, if they're so depressed and so what, mentally, if you give them that kind of comfort, right, that's what we call fearlessness or mental, you can say that mental healing, you can say that, right? And of course, the last one in Buddhist view, the truth or Dharma, whichever you say. And of course, I think most of the religion emphasize on this, but I'm going to speak about too much. But here's the thing, what we call the ultimate, the profession of of giving. What means perfection of giving?
It has to be pure.
Why it's have to be pure? Why?
Like pure in terms of like the intention has to be pure, and the gift itself has to be pure, like where it came from. It has to be pure, and the person that's receiving it should deserve it.
Now, if you love your girlfriend or boyfriend, and you give the girls or gift during Valentine's, is that the practice of giving? Yes, you give to them, but it's not pure, right? You give them because of your love. That's all right. Not with pure intention, right? So that's why in Buddhism, if you give out without any condition, like your parents, your mom, your parents, they can give us everything, right? The parents, they give us everything without any attachment, without any conditions. That's a pure form of giving, expression of giving. Another thing is what we call in Buddhist view. Later on, the most of the time, if you see a homeless person, you give a dollar bill or a water bottle. Why? Why?
Because I feel sorry for them.
Yeah, out of your sympathy, right? Out of your sympathy with them. Is that right? You feel sorry for them.
Because we all know how it feels to be thirsty.
Yeah, you feel sorry
And
for
you
them.
feel, I've been there, here's some water, have some water.
Yeah, that's why. You feel sorry for them. You feel still sympathy. That's why you give them. But in Buddhist view, yes, that's good, but you have to go beyond that. What's the number?
25?
Yeah, you have to go beyond that. What's mean? Especially in Mahayana traditions, they say that when you give out, in this ideal way, right? In the professional way, right? Professional way. That means when you give out, you don't attach that you are a giver. There's no person that is or no receiver. Giver. When you give, right, you are a giver, right? And the other one is receiver. Okay. Here you are here, giver. Receiver. And in the middle, right? In the middle is the gift. The present, whichever way, whichever present and gift. Here, in Buddhist view, why you give out? In Buddhist view, the more you give out, the more blessing you have. The more you give out, the more or the lesser attachment of the ego you may have. Why? What happened? Why people steal? Why? Why people still cheat each other? Why? What's the number? So the idea is why people steal? Why people cheat each other? Because of ego. It's me. I want to take this. I want to take this one. Your stuff is belong. I want to take your stuff for me to enjoy, to keep, to use. You understand that? That's what happened. That's why we have stealing problems. That's why we have cheating problems, right? I want to cheat other people because I want to, whichever way, to bring my own benefit and so forth. But when you give out, you reverse the pattern. You give out, you help out. You reduce the attachment of ego. You understand that? And this is where you transform the problem of stealing, cheating, and so forth. Not to think much about yourself. That's one of the practice of what you call pyramid of perfection there. And plus on the top, you follow me? You follow me? So on the top of that, for especially ideal Bodhisattva, you're not supposed to think that you are a giver. Why? You are attached to yourself. Let's say if your friends robbers, actually, if your friend asks you $10 to pay for the gas because they don't have money to pay to pump the gas, and when you give out, if you give out with pure intention, oh yeah, they need your help. After you're done of that type giving, you don't think anymore about yourself. My sense, that's unconditional giving. That's pure giving. Then you say, oh, all right, I give you a favor, $10, $5. Next time, if I have problem, you need to pay me back. Yes, that's just like transaction, right? That to do business, right? Right. So that is not pure giving. And again, too, don't attach to the receiver. Like the mother, right? Whichever way the children need help, they just step out to help. They just step out to care for the children. They don't think, oh, this is my children, and so forth. Make sense? All right. So if we don't have this kind of attachment, or even the present or the gift, whichever things we give them, if we don't attach them, that's called still as pure giving. Make sense? That's called profession of giving. You give them in the pure way, in the professional way. You understand that? That's in Buddhist view. It's more our blessing, the merit would be more wholesome than we give out with the condition. You understand that? When we do the condition, when we give out with condition, that's I can do business. All right. So next one about legal or no, patient. Juran, want to say anything about?
I'm still catching up.
Huh?
I'm still catching up.
Catching up. Okay, so we know patient is virtue, right? In any condition, right? What's the beauty of what's the virtue of patience? Do you have patience? Yeah, everyone of us in this sun have patience. You don't have patience? You sure? If you don't have patience, you couldn't sit here for an hour.
I get fidgety. I get fidgety.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone of us has some degree of patience, right? But again, in Buddhism, it requires some kind of practice too. When you do meditation, when you go to school, whichever it is, when you do business, you need certain type of patience. If you don't have patience, there's no way for you to be successful. Right? You go to school for 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, whichever, that takes time to finish up your degree. If not patient, there's no way for you to handle life. If not patient, you cannot handle your marriage or relationship or whichever. So patience is so important. Now, one particular story, that's what we call Diamond Sutra that we studied briefly last time. In that sutra, the Buddha said that in his past life, he was an immortal. He practiced, actually he's not Buddhist, but he practiced patience. So somehow, while he was doing meditation in the forest, and the queen and her groups came, actually they went along with the king for hunting, but somehow they got lost. And somehow the queens and her groups went to that immortal person while he was sitting in meditation, and the king, while he was hunting, somehow he could not see the queen and the other ladies or the other first lady, and so he went around to look for them. Finally, he saw them sit around that immortal while he was giving the lecture or teaching. So the king so jealous, he said, "You seduce my queen and ladies. I have to kill you. I have to kill you then." So the king asked, "What are you doing here? What are you teaching them about?" So this immortal say, "I'm teaching them the practice of patience." And so the king said, "Oh, okay, let me test you out." So he take out his sword and chop off the hand of that immortal. and the king asked him, "Are you angry with me?" Then the mother said, "No." It's incredible, right? And he chopped off another hand. And he asked him, "Are you angry with me?" He said, "No." And he chopped off his one leg, another leg, and even that, this immortal, he said, I don't have any good, I don't have any hatred toward you. Now in Buddhism, that is the not upward. This is it's a practice of patience. When someone harm you, when someone kill you, whichever way, whether you can handle or not. And I don't know whether I told you another story that Narayana, we talked about him, right? The one who postulate the teaching of the middle way, right? He has a student, but his student is so bright and he taught so many people. So one day, as one Brahmin man, he's so jealous that he wait for him in the forest. That somehow he stopped him from behind. Did I tell you this story yet? And this monk, he said, "Wow, you better run. You better run away from this place. Otherwise, my student cannot handle this." Yes, so that's one. The assassinator, he ran away, and his student later on came up and asked him, "Who stopped you?" And this monk said, "Wow, don't look for them. If you chase after them, you are like them. He killed me physically, but he cannot kill me mentally." That's patient. Can you handle that? Even me, I don't know. It's not easy. It's not easy. And it's similarly, the Dalai Lama, he said that, I think I mentioned that the last time too, right? The Dalai Lama, he said that, yes, the Chinese communists kill millions of his people. And they may torture his people so far, physically, but mentally for him, they cannot harm his compassion. You understand that? No matter what people do to you, if you remain calm, if you have strong mentality, no one can harm you. Right? I don't know whether in the army they train you that way.
A lot of people don't have patience in the military.
Really?
Yeah, I would just think more of it from a parenting standpoint, because if I lose patience, then I lose control of everything that's happening with my kids. But if I remain the calm in the storm, then I can get everybody else to calm down and follow suit with me. But the minute you lose patience, you lose all control of it.
Yeah, that's not easy. That's one of the books that written by a famous Buddhist monk in the 8th century, Indian monk in the 8th century. He said that, well, when someone harms you, you need to be compassionate toward that person. Can you do that? If someone step on your foot, if someone push your burden, if someone obstruct you or whichever way, can you develop your compassion toward that person?
Remember, when you gave that lecture that day, was it Friday?
Uh-huh.
And I'm walking, dragging my foot around campus, and there was this kid behind me, and he was on a skateboard, and he fell, and he launched the skateboard
On your legs?
And it was my other foot, but I was wearing cowboy boots.
Oh.
And at first I felt this anger towards him, what are you doing? And then I looked at him, and he was like, oh my God, this poor lady. He was on the ground, and then I felt sorry for him because he felt so bad. He didn't know what to do anymore. I was like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It's not a big deal. He couldn't believe that I wasn't angry. At first I wanted to choke him.
But for someone accidentally
It was an accident.
let's step on your foot, that's no problem. But if someone had intention to
Oh, with intention, different
that's
story.
serious.
Oh, I don't know.
18?
Okay, that's serious. If they have intention.
Oh, then that's a different story. That's
Yeah,
hard.
that is not easy to do, right?
I know.
Mhm. And I think in the course of our life, right? Is that this one?
Yes.
Yes?
I don't know if you had time to meet.
Yeah, I love
All right.
yeah. Yeah, I think in our life, right, we have so many friends and foes, enemies, right? So friends, yeah, how would we define friends? Friends are one who support us financially, materially, mentally, and so forth, right? What was the enemies? The one who obstruct, harm, and criticize us most of the time. So how can we handle that then?
It just depends on your experiences in life. I mean, I think once you can get around the concept of the idea that most of the time it's not a personal attack against you, that maybe somebody else is feeling some sort of way and that's why they're behaving in that way, or they're not doing whatever it is that they said they're going to do, or they're trying to attack you. It is really hard, but if you can make it not personal. And I just say this because, like, it's easy to talk about somebody that, like, you don't know, like people who maybe aren't supposed to like you or love you, and if they're attacking you. But, like, you know, I'll just say from experience, like, so my mom has told me, like, she never liked me, right? Like, and some people deal with that, but, like, I think if you have a different experience in life, you know what I mean, then you can understand that, like, maybe it isn't me. Maybe that's your problem that you have to deal with. Because once you have that understanding of yourself, that you're a pretty cool person and you try and do good things to other people, then maybe the attacks that come at you aren't really about you. Like if you're doing the right thing, and this is the same thing I try to teach my own children, like if you're doing the right thing and someone is coming at you, then what do you have to worry about? Because you're doing the right thing.
Let's say, just one example, if, let's say for you that have a job now, let's say if your manager, supervisor, whoever, they're so angry that they lay you off. Can you handle that? Not easy. It's not easy, right? Sometimes you need to ask them, it's unfair, whether they treat you unfair, they lay you off because of some reason, right? It's just life. So how can you handle that then? If you think yes,
Treat them the same way you treat your friends.
yes.
That means
So if
show them kindness pretty much.
I know it's universal, but that's kind of analogy I get you, right? If somehow that person doesn't like you, I mean that the supervisor or manager, that person like you up there. How can you develop your compassion toward that person? Or you have that gut in your mind because of that person I lost my jobs.
Me?
Myself?
Yeah, I just give one example. How can you handle that? How can you develop that compassion then?
I mean, I like to consider that, I like to think that I have a lot of patience. And so what I do is I think, I know myself and I know when I get angry, I get really angry. So I just like to think like, if I get angry right now and I do 100% angry, how is that going to help the situation? Like, if I were to get fired, like if I were to yell and be, well, I'm going to sue you, then, I mean, they can easily say that I'm not a good worker and stuff like that. Like, how is that going to help me? Rather, if I was just like, okay, I know that you're mad and like, I don't think it's fair, I'll give you time to like, think about it, and then we talk to them calmly, maybe they'll think like, oh, she's actually a good employee, like she understands, and let me just think about like, maybe not firing her. So that's what I do. I just kind of think like, if I go all the way out, like, how is that going to help me or hurt me, and how is that going to help her hurt them?
Yes.
I remember you telling me not to take it personally, basically. So I mean, if you just use that knowledge, then you'll be fine.
That's why you mentioned that too. Yeah, whichever thing, sometimes be personal. Yeah, so you can move on much easy. Otherwise, you keep that gut. Like I think last 2 years, when you heard some news that someone will lay off and they brought the gun and shoot the manager in Chicago, right? Like, this has happened. Even sometimes the students shoot the profession too. You heard some of that story, right? Yeah. So this is Yeah, so that's why. That's why last time we talked about don't play around with weapons. Yeah, when you're so angry, it's so harmful. You could not think at that moment, the hot moment. Anyway, so patience is the virtue. That's the point in our life. And in Buddhism, it's all kind of teaching how to encourage us, how to help us to develop this kind of virtue. That's how patience, like these stories of teaching and so forth. Not easy, but here's it before I move on. I want to mention, I used to mention to my Buddhist follower too. In our life, this is my own experience too. Probably some of you may be too young, or you are too enough to understand this. In our life, never keep anyone in your mind that you consider him or her as your enemy. Why? Why is that? You understand why I say?
Because you're allowing them to control
Your mind. Keep your mind at peace. Remember I told you the story of Dalai Lama and all the monks. So never keep anyone in your mind that you consider them him or her as enemy. Because the moment that you have that image, a picture, or sound in your mind, it's harmful.
That's when they win.
Yeah, it's harmful for yourself. I remember that one day I went to a Vietnamese school and gave a lecture to a group of Vietnamese people. And one lady raised her hands and asked me the question that 4 or 5 years ago, she went back to Vietnam and she went to visit a temple, and a head monk at that temple, when he passed by her and he didn't greet her, it made her angry. And that image, that action, she attached in her mind for 4 or 5 years. You see that? So this is, you can sleep with that, whichever, whether it's trivial or serious. So if you let go, you can have that peaceful mind. The moment that you keep them in your mind, you harm yourself. It's like you swallow the poison, right? The anger, the angry poison.
Most of the time, when you think that you don't like someone or someone really gets on your nerve, that person is not even thinking about you. So they're at peace while you're tossing and turning.
Yeah, that's why in Buddhist tradition, especially for us or monks, yes, sometimes as human, I still have some anger too. But the Buddha said that yes, you can have anger, but don't keep it overnight. Makes sense? Sometimes we need to work out with our emotions, but after let go, so let it be free. And with this calm patience. Alright, so let's move on. The next one. Jessica, you want to talk about vigor? What's going to be vigor?
So I read that vigor is something that allows you to put action into things, so to have the energy to do something. In other words, with compassion or anything involved with the rest of the other things. So patience.
Here, this is 2 pair. Okay, this is the 2 pair in Buddhist view. Even in the Mahayana and RELS tradition too, the Buddha said that yes, for vigor, if we have not done any good deed yet or wholesome deed yet, do it now. If we have been doing the wholesome deed or good deed, do more. That's the first pair. And the next pair is that if we somehow have some kind of addiction with smoking, drinking, alcohol, stop now. If we have not done, try. So that's what it's about. Right? So that's what it was related to vigors. And when you go to school, yeah, you have that certain kind of religion, right? Vigor in learning. Otherwise, if you're lazy, is you would fall behind. What's your number?
32.
Okay, let me pause for a while and come back to the presentation. You still want to do the presentation? Jesus, want to still do it?
Did I still want to do it? Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Could I sign up for the presentation?
Yes, you can take my spot.
You want to do
Yeah, I
it?
want to.
Huh?
Yeah, for presentation.
Oh,
And
okay.
I want to withdraw.
You, this is your name here?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Let me know. That's why. That's why I want to remind you guys. Is that right? Anyone want to come in now? Okay, so we have all right. Okay, so that's why when you do business, when you go to school, whichever it is, you have to have this kind of figure, this kind of religion. Otherwise, you won't be successful. And sometimes, yeah, you know the analogy of the rabbit and turtle, right? Someone that's so smart, but they lazy. But someone they do work diligently, they will get to the goal, right? So this happens. This is applicable in any situation there. And so especially if you fall behind, right? If you feel that you fall behind, so try to catch up. Otherwise, don't wait for last minute to run. All right? If you wait for last minute to run, or you fall, you couldn't handle it. You stress yourself out. All right, move on to the next one. All right, Shan, you want to talk about wisdom?
Oh,
What's the ideal?
the idea of wisdom. Okay, so they base it off of the Pratchett. I don't know. It's a weird name, but
Prajna?
Yeah. That's a bunch of sutras, and they basically just talk about like emptiness and how the world is like void.
Yeah, last time we talked about wisdom, right? The difference between the wisdom and intelligence, right? Intelligent, remember? What's the difference then? Can you repeat one more time? What's the difference between intelligence and wisdom? What's the difference?
Intuition.
Wisdom is knowledge that you gain through experience.
Yes, and
Knowledge is just something that you learn that is taught to you.
how about intelligence?
It's something you learn.
Yeah, something you learn, and what else? Let's say hacker. They smart and they wise people. What's the difference? For hacker,
If they don't get caught,
you
they're
sure?
wise.
They don't get caught.
If they don't get caught, they're wise.
Okay, actually not wise. Why? Because they harm others. That's the
Okay.
difference. The wise person is they understand themselves and others, but the intelligent, smart guy, smart people, they have that kind of intelligence, but they may not understand the feeling and so-called for other people. The wise person is recognize and acknowledge things in the whole way, in complete way. Alright, so that's the difference. Steve, you want to say something about the wise wisdom?
Sure. Building off what you said about the prajna or minta, it translates to a question of wisdom, and like you said, it's full of it's kind of like full of contradictions, like all the lines there contradict each other. But as you begin to realize that, trying to understand the situation described in the sutra without experiencing them firsthand, it's like then you begin to understand what it's about. And it can be summed up in just two sentences, and that one that is content with nothing less than that attaining complete knowledge for the sake of all beings should become a bodhisattva, and also that there's no such thing as attaining complete knowledge or perfection of wisdom. And once he realizes that in itself is a perfection.
How many are going to have multiple choice final? It's multiple choice test or final. How many you? A lot?
Not a lot, just like
A
one or two.
lot,
Yeah.
yeah.
Most of them are free response.
Huh?
Most of them are just like free response questions, but
Alright,
yeah.
okay.
One or two.
Yeah. So
What's the question?
my question is, how many of you are going to take multiple choice test or final? Some of you? You nervous? When you circle? Sometimes, yeah, you better use your wisdom, not use your analytical thinking. Remember, many times, right? We circle the right question, but later on we change. Right? So,
All the time.
yeah. So you have to trust instant. Yeah.
Usually when you change, it's wrong.
Uh,
Usually when you change, it's wrong.
Yeah, that's why. Trust your instinct, right? Of course, you can check back the answer, but most time use your instinct, use your intuition. All right, so let's move on. That's what we call about the conviction, but wisdom. All right, Francis, what do you think about conviction and faith?
I'm very confused with this subject. I don't understand it. I don't understand the question, or like, what am I supposed to answer? I really don't know. I'm very confused. I was going to ask Christina if she found anything. I found a lot of stuff, but I could never answer the question.
The Western faith, that is simple.
What's that?
Western faith, Western belief. It's simple. That's simple, right? What's the definition of faith? What's the definition of belief?
I mean, well, not faith is, I guess, hope.
Yeah.
Believe.
What else? Most of you go to the churches or the temple, you have that faith, right? That belief. That's why you go. If you don't have that faith, you will not go.
Oh, okay.
Simple.
I think I kind of get it now, the question.
It's simple. And it's universal, right? And this is, again, without the faith, without belief, you would not go. You not believe in God, you not believe in Buddha, you not believe in whoever. Super beings. What that we call a faith, a belief, that's all.
Okay.
What the difference? One thing, what's the difference between Buddhist belief, Buddhist faith, and other Christian faith? What do you say? What's the difference?
Between Buddhism and other religions?
Let's say about Tiffany, right? You're Tiffany, right? So you believe in Buddha, right? And other people believe in Jesus and so forth. What's the difference? What's the difference between you and between your faith, your belief and their belief? What's the difference there?
Different, like, we worship different people, but I think
Okay.
the morals and the teachings are pretty similar.
Okay. Anything difference? You go to church, right? And when you go to church, what's the difference then? When you walk on the street and you see her, you see Buddhists and the other one, the Muslims and so forth, and you have the faith too. What's the difference between your faith or your belief and their belief then?
I think one of the differences is that in Buddhism, it's like you can make your own path, and like if you believe in God, it's more of you have to pray to God, and God would show you the path.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's just a bit different there. What's the similarity?
Honestly, I don't really see too much difference in Christianity and Buddhism.
That's
I
what I
mean,
thought.
we have little things like more, like you guys have different symbols, but whole morals and paths, we have the same path. We have the right to do something. We have that freedom, and Buddhism has that freedom. You just know that if you do something wrong, you're probably going to come back as a cockroach. And you know if you do something wrong in Christianity, you're probably going to go to hell.
Okay.
But you have those choices, you know, to go to hell or come back as a cockroach. So I
Yes.
don't really see a
It's the
difference.
same. It's the same. The faith is the same. It's just different beliefs.
Yeah, generally the same, right? Of course, it's really depend upon how we view sin, right? But we will have that certain type of belief. A belief in karma, or a belief in reincarnation. I have one follower, he's Caucasian, and he said that I don't believe in the incarnation. That's okay, because according to him, logically, he doesn't know where he came from, and he doesn't know where he headed to. That's understandable, right? So let's just believe then. So it
He's
depends.
so confused.
Huh?
He's gonna be confused.
So this depends. But yes, that the faith we live here, I think last time Dennis, he mentioned that too. What happened with blind faith? You understand that? Sometimes the faith bring the hope, right? Like you say, bring the hope. Like you have the faith in Jesus Christ, or you have faith in Buddha, you pray, which whenever you encounter difficulties, what happened with blind faith? What happened?
You can be misled.
Yeah, it may be harmful, right? If you still believe in the blind way, believe without any reasoning, it's such a problem. Nowadays, we have this in the past too. And that's why in Buddhism, the wisdom and the faith always go hand in hand. You have to know why you believe that. You have to know why you don't kill animals. Not because the Buddha said. You have to know why you believe in karma. That you have to know why you need to help other people, why you need to be generous, to be patient. You have to know why, the reason why you have that type of belief. That's what they call. We incorporate wisdom with the faith. Without the wisdom, that's when you have what they call blind faith, and this is the danger, and you know this is not, it's unhealthy. And it is danger for society too. All right. Okay. Let's move on to number 8. Go down to number 8, and this is Jateco, right? So many of you. Okay. Are you here? I couldn't spell. Miss Kia, you want to say about 10 of them?
Okay. So basically what these 10 stages of attainment are, it's that kind of a person that wishes to seek enlightenment, it's kind of the steps that you would take in order to reach enlightenment. And so there's 10 steps, and basically each step is a prerequisite to your next stage. And then once you reach your 10th stage, you're kind of like the big honcho for enlightenment.
If you pass the paper, where's the paper? Oh, can you pass who has a? Yeah. All right, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I don't know if you want me to go over it because you're so.
No, I don't need to go just briefly. Just terminology and information.
Okay, so the first stage is called the Very Joyous. Involves like kind of having the ability to give up everything with no attachment. Second stage is the Stainless. Talks about perfect ethics, and then that control is necessary so that you don't think immoral thoughts or even dream immoral thoughts. Third stage is called the Light Maker, and it talks about the wisdom that someone possesses during this stage is like really, they kind of relate it to a really bright light. The fourth stage is called the Radiant Intellect, and so it talks about when people go into this stage, they have the ability to eliminate any affliction as well as have equivalency towards their efforts, and that any false conceptions of true existence are basically voided out. Fifth stage is called Difficult to Master, and then this involves practices that are so hard that only several people can be able to pass this. The sixth stage is called the Manifest, and it talks about how qualities are basically mental, and that they're kind of not what the physical attribute is in a person or a thing. Seventh stage is not far. Talks about people have the ability to contemplate something called signlessness without interruption, and they can be able to go into meditation for a very long time. The eighth stage is called the Immovable, and it talks about how a bodhisattva is always, their mind is always formed in the Dharma, and then that they achieve nirvana during this stage. The ninth is called Good Intelligence, and it talks about Bodhisattvas gaining like a full understanding of 3 vehicles, which is basically healers, solitary realizers, and bodhisattvas. And so after this, they finally pass on to the 10th stage pretty quickly, called the cloud of Dharma. And so this is where they kind of receive attainment, or they reach attainment, and that pass down their wisdom to other people efficiently.
No, I mean, you are this number, right? What, just, you don't need to spell one more time. She mentioned, what do you think about these 10 stages? In general, in your mind, in your idea, in your opinions.
I mean,
It's too complicated?
no, it's not too complicated. It's just kind of, it seems a little bit similar to when a person grows in maturity throughout life. That's how it seems to me. As I've learned, or as I've gotten older, learned that everybody kind of goes through specific stages. And I mean, sure, this gives like a guideline, but nobody needs these guidelines. Everybody eventually learns life lessons as it goes.
Yeah. So there are specifically this kind of stages, so it depend on your spiritual target. Alright, I will skip this one. The last one. Ray, you want to say anything about Buddhism-II?
Yeah, I won't say everything because there are 4 people in it, but basically the Mahayana pantheon is about the divine beings in the Mahayana sect of Buddhism. And I didn't know that there were that the Bodhisattvas were like that important. It's like they're basically divine figures, kind of like prophets. So in addition to like the Buddha himself, there are like a lot of main figures prophets people look up to, but there's no like, supreme being that they believe in.
Sandra, in here? Oh, okay. You want to say anything about this?
I actually did the wrong one, but I did do a little research on it. I don't know, it was kind of like, to me, kind of reminded me of like Greek gods. Because like Greek gods are like saints in heaven, because they were so lucky.
Jesus, you want to say something about this?
More or less, I guess, like the deities that he was referring to, they all, I guess, had emphasis with compassion. The different deities like Avalokiteshvara, he dealt with serenity and compassion. It says that he was transformed into a woman, Yuanian, the goddess of mercy. In Japan, it's called Ten. I guess in Tibet, it all kind of just varies from whatever region of Asia you're at. In Tibet, that same guy, Avalokiteshvara, he remained a male, but then his female traits got transformed into Tara, the goddess of compassion. So basically, kind of just deals with compassion.
Yeah. So remember, for the Buddha and the Bodhisattva, they can transform into any forms, male, female, young, old, whichever form they like, whichever form that's feasible for them to teach essential business. And especially in Mahayana traditions, yes, we have the faith to second Buddha, and even decide that Bodhisattva, the compassion Bodhisattva, or that mantra when you attend my lecture, right, last time, that we have that particular mantra to decide. Even I told you that every day I decide that mantra. So this is kind of lesson. And I feel that, yes.
You recite the universal door every day?
Not every day, but the mantra.
Oh,
the great compassion mantra. Yeah, this is, I don't know whether, of course, as a monk, I work on my spiritual life, right, my spiritual path, but I don't know whether you could feel that. Anyone of you? Yes. Let me ask, how many of you pray every day? And from any form of prayer? You do? You do? What will you do? What do you do? Recite Buddha names?
Yeah.
How long?
Just for audience.
How about you? You
Throughout the day, every day?
Huh?
Throughout the day, every day?
Every day? Oh, anyone of you? Or you done right? How about you? You pray every day?
Mostly at night, before I go to bed.
How long?
10 minutes, it's just like, little, I don't know how you say it in English, like blessings, or like things that you do, or you speak to God, whatever it is.
How about you, Han?
I don't really pray, it's purify prayer. And I hope that it blessing.
Here or in Vietnam?
Here.
Oh, good. So when you do pray, what do you feel? How do you feel?
Light.
Light? What do you feel?
I feel like more light, peaceful.
You pray too? Every day? How long?
Like 5 minutes.
5 minutes? So you feel any kind energy, any kind of wholesomeness?
I pray at my altar at home, so I feel all that energy.
It's so important. It's like, it's like we consume food, right? For our body, our this body, when we do the pray, it's just like we consume, like a spiritual food, a spiritual encouragement, a spiritual blessing to us, to our mind, to our mentality. So this is so important. And that's why this kind of Mahayana or whichever in kind of tradition we have some kind of scent, right? Did you follow Catholicism or Christian? Catholicism, they have some sense, right?
Yeah.
To bless you like during the day and so forth, right?
I mean, it depends. What are you looking at?
I mean, any some event, some difficulty, when you deal with some problems,
yeah.
you pray for some deity, certain sense, right?
Yeah, so yeah. My mom tells me when I'm scared or like there's something going on in my mind, just like like a peace. Just pray that and then talk to me.
And how about other people? If, let's say, if you scare, if you so anxious, if you encounter some kind of difficulty, what do you do?
I mean, in the Bible, they have certain scriptures that.
No, of course, for you have the fight. But I'm talking about other people then. What do you do then? If you encounter difficulties, if you have encountered some problem that you cannot solve, what do you do then?
I just kind of like put my life in like a little microscope and think of like, this isn't what I guess is the most important thing in my life. The more important thing is like what happens after, you know what I'm saying? Like really, if it's like materialistic, like about a job, like money or something like that, kind of try to put less importance on it and just realize like, I mean, I wasn't born to satisfy whatever it is that I'm like tripping out about. I was born, I guess.
So what do you do when you're on the verge? So then whichever that you could not know how to solve, what do you do then?
Yeah, nervous breakdown.
Yeah, almost breakdown. That's what I want to say. What should we do then? At that moment.
Try to reevaluate your situation and move on.
Actually, at that instant, you will not have a second instant to think. It's not easy.
Yeah.
How will you want? If you deal with some kind of problem, like you almost break down, what do you do then?
I would probably go somewhere and relax and think about it.
But you don't have a chance at that moment.
I mean, it depends on how big of a deal it is, because I think I move on pretty quickly.
You sure?
I don't really hold on to things and let it keep me down too long.
Let me give one example. Let's say if you break up with your girlfriends and boyfriends, that sometimes break out.
No,
You can
that's
go
not
to break down
what we
easily,
do.
right? How can you handle that? Actually, as just last month, was one lady, she brought a son to my temple. I don't know whether I told you or not. Yes, I told you, right? He broke up with his girlfriend and somehow insane. He could not speak, he could not talk much. He dropped out everything. I'm serious, this happened to many people, especially young people like you guys, right? You don't know how to handle that. You love that person so much, When suddenly she or he walk away from your life, it's not easy to handle. Is that right? So Joseph, how can you handle that then?
I don't know, because in that situation, a boyfriend, girlfriend, to me, it's not a big deal.
Well, think about like if you got some bad news from the doctor or something. Like you got like a,
I mean,
you know.
in that case too, bad news from a doctor, a lot of the times you can't affect it.
Sometimes
If
it's
you got
something you
cancer,
can
for
handle,
example,
right?
you can't.
Just try to do it.
Oh my God, I heard of headaches. I don't know about it. I don't know about it. Like I feel like that's the bottom of breaking.
Yeah, so don't wait until that point, that's time, that's you break down yourself. Alright, okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, number 20. Alright, let's move on. Okay, Francis, do you understand what's meant by conventional truth?
No,
What's mean?
I
The
haven't got to
confusion?
that part yet.
Not for yet? Shara, sit up here. Let me move on this one. Just you understand what's mean ultimate truth? What's mean?
That's not me.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. That's not you. Joseph, yeah. What do you think?
I haven't gotten that one either yet.
Oh, let me show you some video clips about this, okay? I think it's good to have you wake up, okay? Let me see. Yeah, okay.
Black third dimension. Nothing appears abnormal about this Rubik's Cube until you realize it is in 2 dimensions. This illusion is created with a distorted perspective of an image that requires to be viewed at a specific vantage point to create the 3D effect. This is the same method used in the very popular 3D sidewalk art. The Ames Room. The Ames Room illusion creates a cartoonish and very intriguing effect of drastic size differences between people and objects. By tricking your depth perception with an irregular shaped room, the walls, ceiling, and floor align in a way that will appear normal at just the right angle. This causes everything else in the room to appear to warp in size. Following eyes. Here is a simple but very effective illusion that makes it look like these little guys are watching you. This is done by manipulating the way you see perspective and the brain's natural ability to pick out faces and patterns. The head is actually concave, and this sets up a contradiction in your brain to make it look like it's turning to follow you. The dress. Whether you see black and blue or white and gold, this dress has caused debate and confusion. Though the dress is indeed black and blue, it has become a popular example of color constancy. Depending on individual perception, as well as current room lighting, the dress can be seen as either black and blue or white and gold. Circle illusion. It is easy to assume that these dots are moving in a circular pattern. However, they are not. Each dot is traveling in a straight line while on its own path from one end of the circle to the other. By adding each dot one by one, you can see the illusion come into place. Motion illusions. These images are not animated, but they appear to be moving due to the cognitive effects of interacting color contrasts and shape positioning. If you're feeling skeptical, pause this video and watch as these images continue to wave, twist, and pulse. Animation illusion. This clever and old-timey technique creates a multiple frame animation on a single sheet of paper. By manipulating the mind and eye, these still images come to life using a simple graded card. Drop-off room. This 3D painted room is enough to trigger one's acrophobia, as it seems to be a massive drop-off. This painting was created by a master of optical illusions, Regina Silveira, whose work often contains a larger-than-life bent reality. Yes, no. Artist Marcus Raitz specializes in optical illusions with his mind-manipulating 3D creations. A prime example of his work is this sculpture of the word yes. It can be read from one angle, but moved to another angle and it morphs into the word no. Backwards chair. This chair appears as normal as a chair can be at first glance. But just wait till this man has a seat. It might feel simple at first, but this chair is actually built in a warped and irregular way that makes it look like it is facing one way, but in fact, it is facing the other way.
So what is she? Where can I buy it? You see that? Oh, one more thing is here. I think. Oh, and this one here. I think you encounter this one so many, right? So many times, right? What happened? Is it raining there? Is it raining? Why? It's that illusion too. When you drive there, well, there is no basically reflection, right, of the sunlight, right? So there's the illusion there. So that's what we call conventional and ultimate truth. Conventional does means two things come and go. The truth does mean, remember, when you show the like what you call the animal look at you, right? But actually it's not the way. Ultimate truth does mean the way they are. Remember last time I told you about the analogy that the sound, remember? Right? And if I hit the table, right? Why the moment I hit the table, and actually you hear the sound, right? But now you cannot, you would not hear the sound. Is that right? No. You still have ability to hear. That is called ultimate truth of your hearing nature. My sense, conventional truth is yes, it's come and go. My sense, so that this is like illusion. When season through, that's what they call it. It's so conventional. It's depending on many levels. The simple level for you to understand is that yes, and this kind of illusion from yes to no. Remember, when you see how they make that arm, and even when they set that chair, it's illusion. But you know why when they set up that chair. So conventional is changing, depends on how you view. Your right side is my left side. Makes sense? That's conventional. Ultimate truth is that's reality. This is not raining. The reality is the sunlight, the reflection of the sunlight. That's all reality. That's one level. Alright? So that's what we talk about conventional and ultimate. What time is that now?
2:08.
2:08? Okay. Okay, let's let me see here. Let's move on this one before we go there. Ray, you want to talk about what's meant by emptiness?
Yeah, so sunyata is the word for emptiness, and it's really central to the Mahayana belief. It's it's very important for achieving enlightenment or nirvana. Basically, completely ridding oneself of attachments to material things. And it's like it has to be practiced. One must practice meditation throughout lifetime in order to achieve this detachment and to clear one's mind to learn other things.
We talked briefly.
Yeah, we've talked about
right? Why you understand what means emptiness?
Before
Before you walk out this class, before you finish this class, you need to understand this code. Actually, if I put the question on the final, I would put this question for you guys, but not for me, but you just want to understand. So again, what's mean emptiness then? Without we'll look at this. Tiffany, you understand what's emptiness? What is the meaning of emptiness in Buddhism? It's like we discussed last time, right? When you feel, I feel empty, that's different, right? I feel empty, that means you're depressed, is that right? But emptiness in Buddhism is quite different forms, quite different views. What's mean? Huh? Peace here. Sometimes it's confusion. It's called emptiness of essence. Which means numbness have the inherent nature by themselves. Nothing stand by themselves. It's what we call interdependent. Right? And in the context with the nature, we see emptiness and no quality of awakening of mind, bliss, and so forth. So, again, the important is to recognize there is nothing that stands by itself. Right? It's dependent upon everything. And of course, let me put it this way. I used to give analogy that when you fly, when you sit on an airplane and you are above there, when you are above the cloud, when you look at the sky, this blue sky there, there's no limit. It's no boundary, right? When you look down, there's many buildings, trees, the mountains, and so forth. So this is different there. When we go down here, there's all kind of obstruction, all things that we say, oh, this mountain, this forest, this town, and so forth. But when we move up there, that's the vast sky, no boundary. So there is the mind. It's emptiness. It doesn't mean there's nothingness. That's the pure mind there in Buddhist view. Understand that? And even I gave that analogy before. The last 100 years or last couple of 100 years, this one has not been accepted yet. It's just probably not the blank view, but now it come about. Right? They have this school. But what about 1,000 years from now? It may be gone. You understand that? So that is what form. That's what when you learn about the Hershey Sutra, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. You understand that? It's transformed. It transforms from one form to others. All right. So that's the meaning. Okay. So I let you go. Okay. So if you have not finished, who have not gone for your field trip yet? So most of you all do, right? And some of you have not sent me the field trip report, right? All right. So please give me soon, okay? Thank you. See you then.